Reacting to what I eat in a day TikToks. So today I'm making a fun video that I've never made before. I'm actually going to be looking at some what I eat in a day TikToks and reacting to them. I really rarely, like almost never do reaction content. I have gotten requests to do it, but I wouldn't feel comfortable reacting to like one person's whole what I eat in a day YouTube video, and I never want it to be like uncomfortable for them or anything like that. But I feel that if I react to a few different TikToks, it's not going to be like targeted toward just one person. Also, I'm going to try to keep this very nice and not, again, targeted to the individual, more the way of eating. And also, like, I've pre-selected some videos and some of them are actually like really good. So that's also what I'm going to be showing you today. So let me know if you like this type of content, if you have any videos that you want me to react to. And yeah, we're going to start. So I'm going to screen record and then I'm going to like put what I'm seeing right here.
Here is what I eat in a day in a typical day in my life. After I have coffee in the morning, I'll start with an egg scrambled mix. I'll usually do spinach, tomatoes, and mushrooms and make it into like a little omelet. Then I ate some chips and salsa. I swear they need to make these containers bigger because I almost finished it. Next I had some blooms, spun it all up. I usually just chug these, so I finish them pretty fast. Then for dinner, I had a salad, but I also made soup dumplings on the side, so I made some shrimp. And then my salad just had hearts of palm and beets in it. I poured so much sriracha on the top. Then I snacked on some seaweed chips and then some Cheez-Its. Balance is key, guys. Never restrict yourself. Then some sour cream and onion chips, my favorite. Bye.
So first of all, I really liked what she said at the end about balance being key. I totally agree with that. And it goes back to my previous point when I was saying like you can't get somebody's entire way of eating from just like a what I eat in a day video. You know, there's just so much context that you're missing. Also, they're showing you like what they want you to see. They're choosing that day maybe for a reason. So just always keep that in mind when you're watching these kind of videos. But yeah, definitely, I agree 100%. You need to find balance. It's totally fine if you have days where you're eating a bunch of like more junk food, as long as you also have days where you're eating like mainly whole foods. Ideally, you should find balance within like one day, even within like one meal. But sometimes it's not possible, and that's fine. You can balance it out over the course of a few days. Immediately what came to mind when I saw her video was that's very realistic for like a student. Honestly, that's pretty similar to the way I ate when I just did not want to be bothered to make 3-4 meals a day, and I still sometimes do that too. In this video, she has like her breakfast is also her lunch, and then she just has like a very small dinner, and then she's just like snacking a lot. I will say that I feel that her meals aren't big enough, and that's why she needs to go for like all these snacks. Again, nothing wrong with having some chips, you know, as a snack a little bit, but she is having like a bunch of chips. Like she starts out chips in the morning with her like dip, and then like chips, she has like 3 different kinds. Like she also had like Cheez-Its. Like for me, it's a little bit excessive in the chip department just from a health perspective, and if you were to like eat like that every day, of course, for one day, totally fine. Her diet is pretty good in terms of proteins and getting in like veggies, but I would say it's lacking carbs a little bit, and that's probably also why she is snacking so much. Okay, on to the second one. These are like in no particular order. I prepped these like in the beginning of the week. I don't even remember them. That's the way I want it to be. I want it to be kind of like as if I was kind of seeing them for the first time. Okay, this is one where I have like nothing to say, like nothing, no like advice to make it better. This is perfect. This seems like realistic and also delicious and balanced and fun as well to eat. I really like that she had pasta salad for breakfast. This is just to show you that there are no like typical breakfast foods or like lunch or dinner foods. There's no rule. You can totally have like leftover dinner for breakfast if that's what you're craving, if that's what you feel like having. So I like that she showed that. I also like that all her meals are like really colorful, and there's like a bunch of kind of like fun desserts and like snacks in there. And yeah, this is like a great way of eating. Okay, so now we're gonna look at another one.
Here's what I ate today as a high-fat carnivore. I had a hot dog and some cheese for breakfast. Lunch was 2 quarter pounders with some butter. So delicious, you should try it. And for dinner, I had 2 more quarter pounders with more butter, actually a lot of butter, and these were my macros for the day.
Okay, gotta try to keep this kind. So at first I thought she was eating a carrot. I was like, that's good, but no, it's a hot dog. So wait, I don't know her account enough, but I don't think that this is satire. I really, oh yeah, carnivore animal. Yeah, I think that's her real way of eating. Okay. Okay, this is very dangerous. This is a very dangerous way of eating. Like, of course, I'm vegetarian, and I truly believe that you can eat like in a healthy manner whether you eat meat or not. That's not the issue. The issue is that she's eating just meat, just animal products. That is terrible for your body. Like, the scientific consensus on that is very clear. Also, I feel like if you wanted to eat in a more like carnivore way, you could still do it with a little bit more variety. Like, I mean, her lunch and dinner were just like steaks and butter. Like, I feel like you could at least have like some seafood, some fish, I don't know. There's like other things I feel like that if you really wanted to eat that way, you could make it a little healthier. Just a little reminder that you can find all of the services I offer on my website, and that's going to be the first link in the description. You can check out things that are paid, like my nutrition coaching sessions or my courses, but there's also a ton of free material, from webinars to ebooks to checklists to challenges, so make sure to check that out. But still, this diet is so dangerous. Like, there is no fiber. Like, I looked at her macros, there's 4 grams of fiber. Like, that's the minimum requirement is 25 grams a day. Honestly, I'm wondering how this person is having bowel movements with like no fiber. There's not like 1 single ounce of fresh foods in that video. Honestly, I'm kind of worried about her. Please do not eat in this way. There's literally nothing good to take from this. No. This is just like a whole load of saturated fats that is going to be terrible for your arteries, for your heart, for your health in general, and then the lack of fiber is associated with a lot of health issues. So, okay, on to the next one. Hopefully it's a little bit better.
What I eat in a day.
Breakfast. Lunch.
Snack.
Dinner.
Okay, this is another good example of like a good meal, like a good balance of different things. She also wrote in her caption like there's something about balance, how balance is key. So I totally agree with that. Honestly, like, what I would have to say about this, it's just like nitpicking a tiny little bit, so I'm not even like gonna go into that, because again, my meals could be nitpicked too. Like, I totally understand that. What I do want to say about this video, it gives me the chance to talk about like whole grains, because I'm always saying that whole grains are like healthier, have like more fiber, more protein, and you should include them like more in your diet. And of course I still stand by that, but I think this is also a good example of how you can have like a healthy, balanced way of eating and make it maybe in a way that is more what you're used to, like culturally. Like, I don't know if having whole wheat ramen would be quite the same, and like brown rice with like what she was having. Again, I don't know if it would like be the same level of like satisfaction and taste. And here you can see that she's totally compensating for maybe the little lack of fiber in these grains by having like a bunch of fiber elsewhere. Like, her snack plate was literally like sweet potatoes and like fruit, and then she had like a plate of fruit at the end of the day as well, and you know, she had veggies. So I'm really not worried about her fiber intake overall. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Missing a meal there, girl. And also, where are the carbs? Like, not enough carbs. Like, this is someone who does not eat a lot. Her breakfast started out great. I like this TikTok because I feel like it was like very realistic in the way that it was filmed as well. She wasn't like hyper focused on aesthetics of everything, which is like the way that I do it too, because I feel like that's also helpful for people to see things that they can actually achieve that actually seems realistic to them. So I feel like I like that, but she's just clearly missing a meal here. I mean, breakfast is fine, and then she had like another meal that's lacking carbs, but you know, it's fine. Her snacks aren't very balanced. Again, it's totally fine to have some chocolate, you know, some Coke, like a little bit, but if you're having too much, it's also showing that you are not eating enough, not getting enough carbs, not being fueled enough with your actual meals. A little piece of advice is your meal should keep you full for at least 3 to 4 hours. If it keeps you full for longer than that, then maybe you ate a little bit past your fullness cues. And if you start getting hungry like an hour or two after your meal, then you probably didn't eat enough and you need to make your meal a little bit fuller. So I don't know if this is the case for her. I do know that it's a pattern I see with a lot of my clients, is that they're gonna skip carbs that are actually beneficial to them, like whole grains in general, fruit, things like that, and then they are gonna kind of like catch up on the carbs with like snacks, like high carb snacks, because they kind of feel like, well, since I didn't eat that many carbs today, I'm like allowed to have these snacks. But that's really not the way it works. The more like whole carbs you eat, the less likely you are to overeat on kind of like these refined carbs from these snacks. But again, this diet is not like terrible by any means at all. Also, some people have like naturally a smaller appetite than others, so that's fine. Again, just giving you tips if you want to apply them. Okay, another one.
Nowadays I be booking them cameras, and they hype that I'm up on them banners. Pulling my food, you know I don't answer. I'm thinking I be them. Not thinking shit from me, but no. Wanna be missing to my emotions, my name and I'm so I bet you won't show. Man, I'm the girl in his dreams. Think about me when he does his teeth. He keep texting, I lose him on team. Hottest bitch, I don't even know what I know. Keep it a spot, put me in, cause they know I got bands. 50 times, I don't give a damn, and I'm still getting money, I know who I am. Wanna be low, he gon' hit on my dream. If he's smart, he gon' echo the fame. If you bigger, they got your head down.
That did not look like 200 grams of protein. 200 grams is like huge. That is like crazy. Sorry for her because she's gonna like lead to this little rant on protein, but people are obsessed with protein, especially like American people. For some reason, they think that it's the superior macronutrient and that you can't get too much of it, but you can. And literally your body cannot assimilate these levels of protein. Like if you're eating 200 grams of protein, your body's not going to be able to use all of that. You're going to store that as well. And like honestly, if I look at her day, it's not shocking to me the amount of protein. Like the protein shake is just not necessary. Like there's already so much protein in there, but it's not like, you know, I'm not shocked like the keto dieter, I mean the carnivore dieter that I reviewed earlier. But it's just, you don't need that. You don't need to be having all that protein. Your body's not going to use it. Like you don't need to do that. Just like eat the same way, like take out the protein shake. Also add more carbs, because like at breakfast she had oats. Her breakfast was like amazing, great, perfect, loved it. Her lunch was great too, but dinner is just like chicken and lettuce, like chicken and a salad. That's not enough. That's not going to sustain you enough. You need a little bit more carbs. But other than this kind of like carb protein ratio being a little bit off, a little too much protein for not enough carbs, other than that, the diet is good. Like the day of eating, there's fiber, there's variety. She's getting in different macros. So okay, now we're gonna get to the last one, and I saved this one for last. It's the most important one. It's the one that I really want you to pay attention to. So let's watch it.
I do intermittent fasting, so let me show you how I eat all of my food within 3 to 4 hours every day. I start eating every day around 9:30 a.m. I always start with a coffee with a lot of heavy cream. Then I take a lot of supplements. After I did a blood test, we found out that I had a bunch of nutrient deficiencies, so basically I just take every vitamin that I'm deficient in. Then for breakfast, I make this like cheesy burger thing with kimchi. Also, just taking a moment here to appreciate how good my skin has gotten from this diet. I literally can't even believe it. I always have 2 cups of coffee, by the way. A lot of heavy cream goes into that. I top the burger with a fried egg, and this is my breakfast that I eat around 10:30 a.m. The burger is freaking delicious. I just made a whole YouTube video on the recipe. I take 32 pills in the morning, so I just try to swallow as many as I possibly can at once. After I'm done eating in the morning, I usually just go get some work done for a little while. Today I had to organize my taxes, so that's what I did. Around 11:30, I make a yogurt bowl with some kefir for some extra probiotics. Also, it's important to say that I'm doing this under supervision of numerous professionals, so don't take this as medical advice. Please always work with a professional because everyone's needs are so unique and different. Don't wash me. Swear to God. Anyways, at 12:30, I usually make a cup of broth, add a ton of beef fat into it. This is what heals my gut. It's a little bit hard to get down, I'm not gonna lie, but it's worth it. After that, I have my absolute favorite snack in the world, which is berries and Amish cheddar cheese. Oh, that's everything I ate today.
Okay, so again, I never want to sound like I'm being rude to her, and she did say that she was working with professionals. I honestly know that all nutritionists and like nutrition professionals have like differing opinions. Like you can totally find like carnivore nutritionists and you can find vegan nutritionists and you know all of that, but I'm really wondering who is like okay with having her eat that way. So she is eating all her food from like 9:30 to 1, I believe. That is like a crazy short amount of time. So let's talk about the intermittent fasting. First of all, I made an entire video on intermittent fasting. If you want to know like more what I think about that, you can check it out here or in the description. But in general, it's like this huge craze for, there's literally no reason for it. I have no idea why. Like it is not helpful with weight loss. All it does is to like overloads your body with a ton of calories in like very limited time, and then you just have like nothing to you're just not eating. So first issue, I mean, you can do like very slight intermittent fasting, maybe if you skip breakfast or something, kind of like naturally, I feel like that's fine. But for her, there's like a very, very, very short time window. I don't see how that can be good for intuitive eating. Like you're not listening to your hunger cues. Of course not. You're not going to be hungry like 1 hour after eating, you know, your meal. Like this is not an intuitive way to eat. This is not how you're supposed to be eating. And then another aspect that really surprised me was that she's taking like 32 supplements, I believe she said. And again, this is not to sound like snarky or anything, but maybe if you're taking 32 supplements, it's because your diet is not right. Taking 1 or 2 supplements for like specific things that you have identified as you not getting enough of, that it's hard for you to get through food, of course that's absolutely like totally fine, but taking 32 supplements is absolutely crazy. And I'm actually like happy that she's working with people because like it can be really dangerous. Like I'm sure that some of these overlap, like, you know, supplements aren't for just like one vitamin, one mineral. She's probably like getting a bunch of the same one like over and over. If it's water soluble, that's fine, but not all of them are, so that means that it can be toxic. But I'm trusting that, you know, people she's working with wouldn't let her do anything like dangerous to her health and in that aspect. But just in general, know that if you have to take that many supplements, something is lacking in your diet. In her case, it's definitely fiber. I believe she only had like raspberries. That's it. They're high in fiber, yeah, but like definitely not enough to hit the recommended amount of fiber. And so she did have like some probiotics in there, which is really good. She had some kimchi, some kefir. That's great, but also if you're not getting any fiber, your probiotics are not going to have anything to feed off of. So you also need prebiotics, and you get the prebiotics from the fiber. So that's an issue. And then she also talked about how this was like bone broth, I think was like healing for her gut. But honestly, not eating fiber is you know, that's gonna wreck your gut. That's literally gonna wreck your gut. And also under eating. Honestly, just in terms of calories, I don't think that she's under eating because her diet is very, very high in fat, and fat is the macronutrient that has like the most calories. So honestly, I think that calorie wise she's probably okay. She's probably over like 2,000, but in terms of macronutrient distribution, you know, that's not, it's literally just fat and protein and like no carbs, like no fiber. The distribution is totally off. And then also in terms of like the pleasure aspect of it, like she said that the bone broth is really hard to get down. She's also cramming all her meals in like a short amount of time. Like I don't see how that can be like very enjoyable. And as you know, if you watch my channel, enjoying your meals, having them be satisfying is so important for a healthy, balanced diet. So it seems like that's lacking there as well. But you know, there's still positive things in this diet. Again, the probiotics are really good. Just need to up the fiber content a little bit to make them more effective. And the raspberries, that's good. And in general, you know, there's protein, so that's good too. So I'm gonna stop here for the TikToks. Hopefully you enjoyed it and this was insightful to you. And remember that you can't really judge a person's like entire way of eating by just one video. That's like very important to keep in mind. And also remember that it's possible that some of these ways of eating work for these people, but just because it worked for them doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to work for you. The advice I give is, again, the scientific consensus, what has been shown to work like for most people and what has been shown to be the healthiest like overall. But if you want to eat quarter pounders and butter and hot dogs all day, no, just kidding, don't do that. Also remember that just because you don't agree with somebody's way of eating doesn't mean you should go be hateful in their comments. I disagreed with a lot of these creators' ways of eating, but I'm not gonna go say that in their comments. Like, that's not going to be useful. Or if you do have something to say, make it insightful and say it in like a non-hateful way. But even then, these people probably don't really care, honestly. So now if you enjoyed watching this, then let me know if you want me to react to more what I eat in a days or like ways of eating. And if you have like specific people in mind, you can also let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe, and see you on my next one. Bye!